In 2022, France played the greatest World Cup final ever staged. They were losing 2-0 with 80 minutes gone. Then, Kylian Mbappé took over. He scored a penalty. Then, a bicycle kick that defenders are still having nightmares about. The game went to extra time. He scored again, a hat trick in a World Cup final from a man who was supposed to be a passenger. France still lost on penalties. 4 years later, they are back, ranked first in the world, with a squad that analysts, coaches, and rival players are quietly describing as the most complete team at the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. And they want what was taken from them. This is France's road to the 2026 World Cup. And this is the story of why no team in the bracket is hoping to face them. Start with the qualifying campaign, because it sets the tone. France were placed in UEFA qualifying Group D alongside Ukraine, Iceland, and Azerbaijan. On paper, it was a manageable draw. In practice, France made it look like a training exercise. They played 6 matches between September and November 2025. They won 5. They drew 1, a goalless result against Iceland in Reykjavik, the only team in their group to stop them scoring. They conceded just 4 goals across the entire campaign. They scored 16. On November 13, 2025, France beat Ukraine 4-0 at the Parc des Princes in Paris and booked their ticket to North America. Mbappé scored 5 of those 16 qualifying goals. Dembélé orchestrated several of the rest. France finished top of their group without breaking a sweat. They entered the World Cup draw ranked 3rd in the world, dropped into Pot 1, and were assigned Group 1, their opponents Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. Analysts looked at that group and said one thing: France are in the knockout rounds before they even start sweating. Before the squad, before the tactics, you need to understand Didier Deschamps. He has managed France for 13 years. He played for France in 1998 as a midfield anchor when Les Bleus lifted their first World Cup on home soil. He was in the squad in 2000 when France won the European Championship. He knows what winning at the highest level feels like from both sides of the touchline. In 2018, he did something only 2 other men in history have done. He won the World Cup as a manager, guiding France through a dominant tournament run to beat Croatia 4-2 in Moscow. At that moment, his legacy was cemented. But Deschamps is not done, not yet. He confirmed this year that the 2026 World Cup will be his last tournament in charge. His contract ends with the final whistle in July. France legend Zinedine Zidane is expected to step into the role afterward, but that transition is for another day. Right now, Deschamps has one goal: to leave the role the same way he entered international football, with a trophy in his hands. For the players, this is personal. Many of them grew up in Deschamps' system. They owe him their international careers. They know what this tournament means to him. That motivation is invisible in the statistics, but it is absolutely present on the pitch. Kylian Mbappé is 27 years old. He has 56 international goals. Olivier Giroud's all-time France record stands at 57. 1 goal. That is all that separates Mbappé from becoming the greatest scorer in his nation's history. But the records he is chasing are not just French ones. Miroslav Klose holds the all-time World Cup scoring record with 16 goals across 4 tournaments. Mbappé enters the 2026 World Cup with 12. He needs 5 more goals across potentially 7 matches to become the greatest World Cup scorer of all time. He is entering his 3rd tournament. In the 2018 World Cup, as a 19-year-old, he became only the 2nd teenager in history to score in a World Cup final. In 2022, he scored that hat trick in the final against Argentina. The numbers are staggering before you even factor in his club form. At Real Madrid in the 2024-25 season, Mbappé scored 42 goals and contributed 7 assists across 44 matches in all competitions. He is not merely the captain of France. He is the player the entire tournament is being built around stopping. And here is the problem for everyone else. You cannot just stop Mbappé, because France don't need him to score. Ousmane Dembélé won the 2025 Ballon d'Or. Read that again. France's second-choice attacker, in many people's minds, is the best player on the planet according to Europe's most prestigious individual award. He won it after leading Paris Saint-Germain to the Champions League title, where he tore apart some of the best defenses in European football with pace, close control, and directness from the right flank that forced defensive lines to collapse inward. Deschamps gave him the iconic number 7 shirt for the World Cup. That is not a symbolic gesture. That is a statement of intent. Then there is Michael Olise at Bayern Munich, who produced one of the most impressive individual seasons of any wide forward in European football. The ability to drift inside, shoot early, and manufacture space from nothing makes him almost unplayable in certain defensive systems. Rayan Cherki joined Manchester City this season and carried that momentum directly into the national team setup. At 22, he is one of the most technically gifted midfield forwards in Europe. Bradley Barcola at PSG. Desiree Doué, also at PSG, still only 21. Marcus Thuram at Inter Milan. Jean-Philippe Mateta as an option from the bench. France could name a completely different attacking lineup for every group stage match and still put fear into any opponent. That is not hyperbole. That is literally the depth of this squad. No team in the 2026 World Cup has attacking options like this. Not Argentina, not Brazil, not England, not Spain. France have one attacking line. Then they have another full attacking line waiting behind it. People talk about France's attack. Smart coaches talk about their defense. William Saliba is 25 years old. He is already considered one of the best central defenders in European football. At Arsenal, his ability to read attacking moves before they fully develop, to intercept, to step out and win the ball cleanly without committing a foul, has made him the foundation of one of the Premier League's tightest defensive units. When Saliba starts for France, they concede almost nothing. In the qualifying campaign, France shipped just 4 goals across the 6 matches. 4. Alongside him, Deschamps can choose from Ibrahima Konate at Liverpool or Dayot Upamecano at Bayern Munich. Either pairing would be considered among the strongest central defensive partnerships at the tournament. France has the luxury of genuine competition for those spots. In the fullback positions, Jules Koundé is one of the best right-backs in the world at Barcelona. Theo Hernandez, now at Al Hilal, brings attacking instincts and defensive quality on the left. Lucas Hernandez, his brother, provides cover and versatility. Between the posts stands Mike Maignan at AC Milan, widely regarded as one of the 2 or 3 best goalkeepers on the planet, with feet good enough to play outfield and reflexes that have stopped what seemed unstoppable. Defense wins tournaments. France won the 2018 World Cup with a defense that barely leaked. They reached the 2022 final with a defensive structure that held against some of the world's best attacking nations. In 2026, that defensive core is arguably even stronger. There is one area where analysts find something to debate: the midfield. Aurélien Tchouameni is the anchor. At Real Madrid, his physicality and passing range allow France's forwards to operate with genuine protection behind them. Deschamps trusts him in the deepest midfield position, and that trust is well placed. Around him, the competition for starts is wide open. N'Golo Kanté is 35 years old, now at Fenerbahce in Turkey after his time in Saudi Arabia. He may be playing his last major tournament. His instinct for pressing, winning the ball in tight spaces, and breaking up attacking momentum has never fully left him. When Deschamps recalled him for the qualifying campaign, it was because there is simply nobody in European football who does what Kanté does. Warren Zaire-Emery is 22, a PSG product, and one of the most promising young midfielders on the continent. He presses with intensity, carries the ball between the lines, and finds the right pass under pressure. This tournament could be the moment he announces himself to the world. Adrien Rabiot at AC Milan, in his 10th year of international football, provides experience and box-to-box quality. Manu Kone at Roma adds energy and physicality off the bench. One notable name is missing: Eduardo Camavinga, the Real Madrid midfielder who came off the bench in the 2022 final against Argentina, was left out of the squad after a difficult season at Los Blancos. For a nation as deep as France, even that omission barely registers as a weakness. The midfield is not France's strongest area on paper, but when your attack is that dangerous and your defense is that solid, midfield becomes the bridge, not the foundation. Group 1 France, Senegal, Norway, Iraq. The matches unfold like this. June 16, 2026, MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. France versus Senegal. The African champions ranked 19th in the world, with the talent of Sadio Mané's generation now transitioning into a new squad. Senegal are the most dangerous opponent in this group. Not dangerous enough to beat France on a level field, but capable of making it uncomfortable. June 22, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia, France versus Iraq. Iraq's FIFA ranking sits at 58. They reached this World Cup through the Intercontinental Playoffs, qualifying in the final stage in March 2026. Their last World Cup appearance was in 1986. For France, this is 3 points. June 26. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Norway versus France. This is the test. Erling Haaland at center forward, one of the most physically unstoppable strikers in world football. Norway qualified from UEFA Group 1 with 5 wins from 6 matches. A team built around physicality, directness, and exploiting the spaces that even good defensive teams leave exposed. France are favored. But Haaland is the kind of player who can win a match from nothing, and France will take that challenge seriously. This is the match where Deschamps' tactical preparation will matter most. If France manage Group 1 the way their talent suggests they should, they exit in first place and move into the round of 32. From there, the knockout path opens up toward potential clashes with Spain, Brazil, Argentina, the other names on the short list of teams who could win this tournament. Nobody in that bracket is hoping France finish first in their group. There is a version of this France team that plays conservative football, wins 1-0, and frustrates everyone who paid to watch them. Deschamps has been criticized for that approach before. There have been tournaments where France's talent suffocated under a defensive system that played not to lose rather than to win. But this squad is different. The average age is 26.8 years. The players entering this World Cup are not young talents discovering an international stage for the first time. They are experienced, club-proven performers who have been in elite environments for years. Mbappé has won a Champions League at Real Madrid. Dembélé has a Ballon d'Or. Saliba anchors an Arsenal defense that finished at the top of English football. Maignan is among the best goalkeepers alive. Tchouaméni knows what it means to carry Real Madrid's midfield. This is a France squad that combines the deepest attacking talent in the tournament with a defensive structure capable of shutting out the best teams in the world. That combination is almost unique in World Cup history. Only one other team has arguably had this balance of elite attack and elite defense in the modern era, France in 1998, the year they lifted the trophy for the first time. Now add the emotional stakes, Deschamps leaving. Mbappé chasing records that would make him the defining player of his generation. A squad that knows they should have won the last one and didn't. The 2026 FIFA World Cup has a clear favorite. It plays in navy blue. It sings La Marseillaise. And on June 16, it opens against Senegal at MetLife Stadium, 34 miles from where the final will be played. France are not here to make up the numbers. They are here to finish what they started. If you want to see how the other tournament favorites stack up against France, that video is on screen now. Subscribe so you don't miss the full World Cup breakdown as the tournament begins.